Good afternoon, and welcome to the premiere of Through the Static with Stephen the Medium, and I'm Stephen the Medium. I can't tell you how excited I am to have this opportunity. I have been, it's been a couple of weeks or so since I knew this was going to happen, and it seemed like it was an eternity, but now that it's here, I am so excited. So I just wanted to mention that I have Coach Elix here with me today. Elix, who is my husband of over 25 years.
And not your coach.
Well, you know what I mean. You get it. And I have Mark, who is on the boards, and I thank you, Mark, so much for doing that. So again, welcome and thank everybody who is listening. I'm so excited about this. I'm actually going to take phone calls a little bit later on, and I'll tell you when I'm going to do that. So I just wanted to, seeing this is the premiere, just wanted to give some information about the show and just a couple of things that I wanted to say. So how I even got here, I'm sure that when I've been on Dave Kane's show, some people have heard this story, but I'm not a typical medium. I didn't know about this gift when I was a little boy. It was something that happened in 2010. Elix and I went to see a medium, and I was the first person that the medium came up to and said, "You have abilities, but you don't know it." And from that point on, it just, it was very slow at the beginning, but it started moving forward until the point that I'm actually at doing readings and doing group readings, still private readings, and it's been just incredible. How I'm here right now, which is still surreal for me, right? I mean,
it's surreal for all of us.
It is that I'm actually.
But we're so proud.
Why, thank you.
I'm proud.
No, thank you. But how I got here is that my best friend, Paul, owns a funeral home, and this incredibly lovely woman, Louise, came to the funeral home. Unfortunately, when you come to a funeral home, it means that you've lost somebody. And in a conversation with him, she was talking to him about spirit and do you believe in spirit? And Paul then, based on her opening the conversation up, gave her my information. She came to me for a reading, which was an amazing reading. I remember her husband came through, and it was a great, great reading, and this woman is wonderful. And then subsequently, she went to one of Dave Kane's presentation, I think the 41 presentation. At the end of the presentation, she came up to him and said, "Have you heard of Stephen the Medium?" And Dave Kane knows every medium from here to Mars, I think. He knows everyone. And he didn't know, he hadn't heard about me, and it was pretty much because I was new. And I was coming out of court one day, I think it was the fall of 2017, and I had this 401 number coming in, and I picked it up, and it was Dave Kane, and asked me if I would be interested in coming on his radio show, and I said absolutely. And I started, and I think it was like maybe every couple of months or so I was on, and I was just I felt so honored to actually be on it, and it just took off, and I love doing this, and I love the opportunity. So I wanted to start with thanking Mr. Kane, because what this man has done for me, and he allowed me to do the fundraiser for Nikki O, which was terrific, and I hope I get to do that again. But he after the first time, he didn't have to bring me back on, and he didn't also have to communicate and keep the communication open and help me to get me to where I am. So, Elix, you know of all people that I will cry at Bambi if I watch Bambi, the movie. So I got to just, keep it together, because I just really want to thank Dave and his wife Joanne, who we love. Their family now to us.
See, I love Joanne. Dave, not so much. I mean, if it was up to him, I'd be deported. I'm from Puerto Rico, but they be sending me to Mexico, according to him.
Yeah, I think he has the paperwork already.
Yeah, but Joanne,
in the works. Well, Joanne stops it. That's what happens.
That's right.
But I want to also thank WARA, to thank Jim Jones for helping me do this, who was terrific, as well as the gentleman with the Boston Red Sox Jersey, Mark, to do the board. So which is amazing and terrific.
Because if he wasn't here, you would be a hot mess trying to figure out the board, trying to talk to Spirit.
Yes.
This would not be a pretty picture.
No, it wouldn't. It would be very ugly.
Yes.
And I came in, and Jim went through everything and was so patient with me and terrific. And then when I got home, I thought, how would I be able to watch that board? It looks like you're flying a plane. And then start doing readings, which I love to do. It wouldn't have worked. So thank you, Mark and Jim, for setting that up. But I also want to just bring up the name of the show. So when I put that contest, just suggestions on Facebook, I think ultimately I ended up getting maybe like 130. I think at the
it was close to 150.
Yeah, when it actually closed down, and I got to tell you, the suggestions were just incredible. To narrow it downward, I think I narrowed it down to 10.
Yes.
To narrow it down to 10 was almost impossible, and then to keep narrowing it down, it was just really crazy. But I fell in love with Through the Static. And it is from Julia Bedard, who is someone who I grew up with, and it's her son's girlfriend. And we went to dinner several weeks ago, and I told her about the show and told everyone about the show and to give suggestions. And I think on her way home, she just thought of Through the Static, and I loved it.
And she was one of the last ones, because her suggestion came in just before you almost closed the contact.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. So I told Julia if she's around to call, because I want to thank her because she named the radio show, which is pretty incredible. And I also
what did she get? Like, what was the prize for the winner?
Free reading. So I know that she really wanted her mom to have a reading, so we're just trying to set up a time so that and I think Julia's going to come too, so that I can do both of them, which would be so terrific. And also the name, the song that opens up this show was also something very difficult, but I have always loved Nicolette Larson and this song, Lotta Love. And my cousin Holly and her daughter Morgan, my niece, were here this past weekend. And I told them, I kind of gave them a preview of this was going to be the song. And I explained what the connection was. It was. I think this came out in '78, and I remember that our family would always go to the Venus de Milo on Thanksgiving, and then go to La Salette Shrine. That was the tradition on Thanksgiving. La Salette Shrine opens up in Attleboro, and that's where we would go. And on the drive, me and my cousin Holly went in my mom's car, and we were in the back seat, and the song came on because it was just coming out, and it was very popular, and the two of us sang it. I think Holly had no recollection of that. It doesn't really matter, but it was such a great memory, and the perfect name for the show, Lotta Love, because I tell people when I do these readings that that's what this is all about, is Spirit's number one goal coming through is really just to tell everyone that they're here, even though physically they're not here, but they want to share the love. They want to make sure people know that they're still loved, and that love that they had, that bond that they had in the physical world is still there, which really, I think, brings me to this show and what I want or envision the show to be about. Why I wanted to do it also is that after almost every reading, group reading, like small reading, private reading, I get questions. And there's just a multitude of questions that, I try to answer, but I just figured that this is just enormous. It's bigger than me. So I think I will continue this after the break.
Are you looking for an opportunity to help others and give back to your community? Community VNA is seeking volunteers to join our interdisciplinary team dedicated to supporting patients and their families during a difficult time in their lives. Applications are now being accepted for our upcoming hospice volunteer training. A 20-hour orientation program will be held Tuesdays and Thursdays, September 6th through September 27th, from 9 a.m. to noon at Community VNA, 10 Emery Street in Attleboro. To learn how you can make a difference in the life of another, call Community VNA Hospice at 508-222-0118 or visit www.communityvna.com.
Are you looking for more opportunity? The Literacy Center is here to help. We have free year-round classes in English, computer literacy, and high school equivalency. With the help of teachers and tutors, you can prepare for your citizenship test, make a resume, get ready for college, or learn how to speak better English. Classes held during the day, evening, or on Saturdays. View our website, theliteracycenter.com, or call 508-226-3603. The Literacy Center, building a better community.
So welcome back to the premiere of Through the Static, and I am Stephen the Medium, and Coach Elix is here, and
hello everyone,
and Mark is here on the boards. One thing before I continue about the song, the show that I was talking about is I completely forgot to give a big, huge shout out to our girlfriend Auntie Donna.
Oh, Auntie Donna.
Auntie Donna. How could I talk about Dave Kane and not talk about Auntie Donna?
I know, and she's the one that we actually love the most.
Wow.
Forget Dave.
You're going to get deported before we even leave here from Dave Kane.
I'm going to get deported anyway, so I'm going to go for it. Auntie Donna, we miss you. I hope you're feeling much better.
You know, this woman, Auntie Donna, who's Dave's co-host, sidekick, the energy and the genuineness of her. I mean, we fell in love with her. We just did. And
yes.
And also extremely talented. Just when we were on the show, we had no idea, and she just said, I think Dave said, give Donna your palm, or give Auntie Donna your palm, and she did a palm reading that was so on target, and for you too, right? I mean,
and she's a writer.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So
I'm on many things.
Absolutely.
But, Stephen, one of the things you were talking about before was about the kind of questions that people ask you when they come to you. And I'm kind of curious, what are some of those questions?
So many questions. Questions of how do I feel spirit? How do I get signs? A big common question is, I lost my mom, yet my sister has had 2 dreams of her. How come not me? Or why do I not feel my dad who's been, crossed 15 years or maybe crossed 6 months ago? Questions like that. When I leave here, Stephen, do my spirits follow me? And I always tell people, absolutely, that you don't need to be in front of a medium to get those signs. And it really is just opening your eyes and being observant and knowing the signs that come in. So there's just a multitude of questions. People will ask me about tarot cards. And the greatest thing about this show, that I know it's going to be wonderful, is that I'm learning with everybody, because this is new for me too. And this is something that, over the past couple of years has been, it fell into my lap, which I've embraced and love. But tarot cards, I have a deck of tarot cards. I don't really know much about tarot cards. I mean, I know people that use them are incredible, and what they read out of them is just incredible, but there's so many things in subjects under the spirit umbrella that I really don't know, and I'm learning. And sometimes people will ask me questions of maybe, reincarnation, and that I have to step back and say, oh my God, I haven't even thought of that. Like, do I have the answer for that? So I think, having, and I can certainly envision having guests that specialize in certain things and, under the spirit umbrella, and just have that dialogue. And that's what I want when people call in too, not just for readings, even though I have to tell you, I love doing that, right? That's what I'm here for. But even for questions, or even just to call to say hi, or, but so that's what ultimately what I want this show to be about is to for not just me, but for everybody who's listening to be able to learn also, which I think is really key. And I know I'm going to learn because I learn every day, whether I'm doing a reading or just things that happen or I feel. So which is I don't know. It's just it's a great venue, and I think it's a great vehicle for people, even if you don't want a reading, just to say, you've always had this question. I can call through the static and speak to Stephen and ask the question. So, which is a great thing.
And how about when people, because I often hear this, people say, Stephen, how do I tell my loved one this, or how do I ask my loved one to help me with this? What would you tell these people?
And I get that a lot, and it's always the same response is that you just did. So the Spirit is with us, not just with me, with everybody. So when someone says to me, can I ask them a question? And then they'll give me the question, then I have to relay it. But once you ask it, they hear because they're with us. They're around us. They're with us. And I did an interview yesterday for Above the Beyond. A gentleman called me who was such a really nice guy, Mike Larry. So I did an interview with him. It's a podcast that's on YouTube. And when he confirmed last night was going to be the appointment at 8:15, I hadn't responded because I was on the phone. I was on the phone with my best friend Paul, who Elix says we talk like 16-year-old girls, but that's besides the point because we really don't. But we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Friends since high school, right? So
for 2 hours.
That's a short conversation.
And it's like a Seinfeld episode every time. What did you talk about? Oh, nothing. For 2 hours.
That's not true, and he'd say that's not true.
Yeah, all right.
But in any case, I was on the phone with him it was a little bit over an hour. I got off the phone, and I got the notification that Mike sent me saying that he confirmed, tomorrow night at 8:15. So I went to open it up to just say perfect, and I look forward to it. And I had a response already there saying we're looking forward to your appointment. And I thought it was his response, so I thought, we're looking forward to your appointment. I mean, how many people are going to be on this phone call? How many is he going to have like a busload of people listening to me? And then I realized, wait a minute, that's in blue. That's my response. And then I realized that it wasn't my response at all. It was Spirit's response. Spirit collectively, telling me, setting up for this show, setting up for this appointment, that they were really excited about it. So it's the little things that you miss or people miss all the time, that the signs are there 24/7. Every single person. We're not different. We're all intuitive. Some fall, in different aspects of the I can't think of the word.
Spectrum.
Yeah, the spectrum. Thank you. But everyone gets signs. So this morning when I didn't have court. I made sure I had nothing today to prepare for 5 o'clock today. So I didn't want to go into court. So I kept it free. And I was telling Elix, I was telling you that I put on. I don't know if I see they're gonna stop listening. I was watching Facts of Life. All right, it's one of my favorite shows. It was in the morning. I was eating breakfast, and one of the characters, Jo, her mom's name was Rose. So twice they just came up with Rose and Rosie, who is my grandmother, who's with me all the time. So I knew right then, and a lot of people would just bypass that and not catch that was just a little sign to say, Grandma Rose is going to be there, Stephen, with you. You got this. We're going to support you. So it's amazing. That's what I want the show about, is just to be able to tell people. And the more I do this, I think the better it is that people are going to understand that they get signs all the time. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
So that's what I want, the show to be about, and but everything and anything under Spirit. And I just, as I mentioned before, I love learning, and I think there's just a lot to learn. So, and I mean,
we're going to learn together.
Well, yeah, but you've also experienced this because of over 25 years. Most of that time frame you and I just did life. I had no idea about the mediumship, so you really had no choice but to come on board, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah, I had no choice, and I just like you said, Stephen, it's the same thing works for me. I had to embrace it, and I have to say, the more I embrace it, the more magical it becomes. Like just getting the signs and understanding the signs, and like not. At this point, not even looking for signs, just having them be in front of you and know what it means. We talked, one of the things for me, one of my signs is the white feathers or feathers. But white specifically, it's a sign from my aunt, who was like a mother figure for me, and somebody that has been my guide since she passed over 20 years ago. And there's days that I literally wake up, and as soon as I get out of bed, I find a feather on the floor. It's that unbelievable, but it's not unbelievable because I already know. I embrace that. Yes, I know you're here. Yes, I know you heard me. Yes, I know you're guiding me. You're listening. You're doing anything that you can to support me, and that's really what Spirit wants. That's what they're looking for us.
It is
to understand.
It is, and once you make that small acknowledgement, like the white feather, it's almost like a good analogy is if you have a door, and the door is closed but not locked. It's not completely closed, and it just needs that little tap to open it up a little bit, and then enough that the breeze from the window is then going to swing it open. Once you just do that one acknowledgement and say, I saw the penny, and I know that's my dad. It's a sign from my dad. I don't know how this works, and I don't think I'll ever understand how it works. But once you do that one acknowledgement, all of a sudden your environment changes, and then you're open and somehow more observant without even knowing about it or knowing how it works to signs. It's incredible, and I say that because when I started this journey between you and Paul, really, because he's been part of this so often, that wouldn't you agree that your connection since this started for me is like off the charts now? That
of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's even being like sort of like minds and just knowing. Once you start knowing and acknowledging the signs, it just keeps happening. So for anybody who feels like, why don't I have signs? Why don't I feel my loved ones? Why does this one have a dream and I don't have the dream? It's there's a lot that goes into it, but rest assured, it can be changed. I mean, there's sometimes that when someone crosses and you're still in the grieving and you've got these walls up, sometimes it's hard to penetrate. Spirits can't get through those walls, so they may go through a sibling whose the walls are a little bit further down, and that's why your sibling gets the dream or sees the sign. But ultimately, everybody will get a sign. Sometimes it does take a little bit. I mean, people grieve differently. And that's a whole nother subject I want to talk about at some point. But they grieve differently, and they drop the walls at different time frames and different degrees, and that also plays into getting signs from loved ones. But you always have to have in the back of your mind just knowing that your loved ones are here with you. And last night on that interview, Mike said to me, where would you say your loved ones are? Like, where are they? What plane are they? And I said, you know what? There's a lot of planes, right? Different planes that are parallel to where we are in the physical world. But the best way to describe it is the plane is right next to you. I mean, when I do readings, spirit, our loved ones, their energy is right next to people. I mean, I see spirit hugging people I'm reading. So it's the veil is so thin. That's a whole nother story with the veil, the veil that separates us in the physical world from spirit, and that's why a lot of times people have visits at night, because the veil between 3 and 5, give or take, is much thinner. So spirit has an easier time to get through, and they can touch us, and they can make us feel, or they can wake us up to say, look at the clock, it's 2:22 again, and you keep saying, this is like the third time over a couple of weeks I've seen 2:22, and it's
or what about the vivid dreams?
Yeah, those exactly.
Are they visits? Are they dreams?
No,
What are
they absolutely visits. Just when you have those vivid dreams, and even if you don't hear anything, it's not a dream. It is a dream, but it's also a visit. So I'm going to continue this. I think after the break.
The Attleboro Arts Museum will showcase their multi-artist exhibition, 8 Visions, from August 1st through 13th in the Ottmar Gallery. This year's 8 exhibiting artists are Brian McClear, Stephen Fisher, Allison Elia, Tatiana Fleece, Lorraine Sullivan, Deborah Baldazar, Joan Horsrath, and Famida Chipti. The museum will host an opening reception and artist talk on August 1st beginning at 6:30. 8 Visions is free and open to all. Reservations are not required, but are appreciated. For more info, you can email office@attleboroartsmuseum.org.
Looking to make a difference? Have extra time during the week? The Literacy Center is looking for you. By becoming a volunteer at the Literacy Center, you could help someone learn to read, study for their citizenship test, learn English, and even help them with their high school equivalency. For more information on how to volunteer or join the next tutor training, you can view our website at theliteracycenter.com or call 508-226-3603. The Literacy Center, building a better community.
Welcome back to the premiere of Through the Static with Stephen the Medium. I have Coach Elix here. I have Mark doing the boards, and this is the best hour of my life. This has been so amazing. So, but I do want to open the phone up for people to call in, whether it's for a reading, whether it's to say hi, whether it's to say, Stephen, you are incredible. It doesn't matter. So 508-222-1320. That's 508-222-1320. And talking about the dreams, even animals. People are always shocked when I'm doing readings and animals come through, and our Rico.
Yeah.
We lost one of our Japanese chins a couple of years ago, and Rico, I think that was the only vivid dream that I've ever had, and it was with a dog. It wasn't even with a person, so which is pretty incredible. And when I woke up, it was happiness, it was sadness. I felt like he was with me. Like I was holding him. I mean, you heard the story. I was holding him, and his little mouth opened, and he said, "Rico." It was just incredible because we miss him so much. But so it's great for me because I experienced those vivid vivid dream. Yes.
Well, and for me, I remember you talking about the vivid dreams for a long time, and I remember even saying to you, "How come I don't get a dream? How come, I don't know that there's, I don't get them and you do." And then one day I remember vividly having this dream about my aunt and waking up and sobbing. And the sob was a sob of like happiness that I was able to see her, to be with her, to hug her. And I remember in that moment, I remember just saying to myself, "Oh, wow, this is really what a vivid dream is."
Yeah, I love when people tell me that. So, but I think there's a call. So, welcome to Through the Static. You are my first call.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I got through to my two best buds.
Who is this?
Guess who?
I don't know. You tell me. I guess I should, right? As a medium, I should know.
Nikki.
Nikki, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Oh, wow. This is so. See, this is probably why you posted that today to make sure you had the right spot. This is Nikki from the gift shop.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Nikki, I think you're the one that called the radio station, and the general manager actually had a note here saying, "Please make sure you take a call from Nikki or else." So we decided we have to, leave a line open for you.
But Nikki, first of all, it's the first phone call, so I'm so happy. I'm so blessed that you took the time to call. I really am. I mean, it's.
I am so proud of you guys. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, Nikki.
Started.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll get to see you soon. Nikki is one of the nicest, sweetest people that we're at Wright's Chicken Farm, and we're eating, and all of a sudden just this bag of, and the fudge there is incredible at that gift shop. But this bag just comes from Nikki. Why? Just because. I mean, it was just right. I mean, it was incredible. And
you guys are wonderful.
Well, Nikki, it's very funny too that how how people just bond. Like there's some people that you just say hi to, and you move on your way, or you see people and it's just a wave. It wasn't like that for you, me, and Elix. It was just a connection, and I love the connection, and I love the fact that you called, and I know you're not. I'm not really sure if you were looking for a reading.
I would love to know. You've told me things. I wanted to congratulate the two of you on this huge success that you're having.
Why, thank you.
I missed you. I missed you guys. I know Friday nights is usually your night, but I'm fortunate that I get to see you as much as I do. But you shared with me, that certain things, positivity around me when you see me, and I'm wondering if there's anything else.
Well, Nikki. There's always something else. I'll tell you. One of the things I keep getting from you is that there's something really close, like birthday, anniversary, celebration. You've got something like. Do you know what this is?
No, I don't.
You do. I just heard someone yell out. You do. There's a grandmother that steps forward for you, and she keeps talking about. When I tell you, Nikki, like 2 weeks back, 2 weeks forward, there's something really close. Sometimes it's actually even an anniversary of a crossing of death that someone crossed at this period of time. Even though she makes me feel like it's a birthday. So you or somebody connected to you, so mom, dad, grandparents, niece, nephew, but there's something very, very close.
Okay.
And
all right.
She's yelling at me to yell at you. Like, how do you not know this? So just know I love this grandmother too. You have both crossed?
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it.
No, do you have both grandmothers crossed over?
Both of them, yes.
Yeah, because both are coming from each side, and they keep giving me 16. So keep 16 with you, the number 16. Okay. So either January 6th or the 16th of a month, but there's something connected with 16 and also November. So just make sure you know that. But keep the celebration, birthday, anniversary. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it is an anniversary of death or something else, or an anniversary. So,
right.
But listen, I thank you so much, Nikki, for being my first phone call, and we will see you soon.
We'll see you soon, Nikki.
All right. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you, Nikki. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello, this is Stephen the Medium.
Hi.
I'm sorry, you just went out. So who is this?
This is Jackie.
Jackie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you calling just to tell me I'm wonderful, or you want a reading?
I'm calling. Yeah, I know you're wonderful. Everyone should know you're wonderful.
Oh my God! This is a day in my life. You gotta start with that. You're beautiful.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Jackie, I'm kidding. I love doing these readings. The great thing too is that when I'm having headphones on and people call, even if it's someone I knew, like even Nikki, if she didn't tell me who she was, it's sort of. I can't tell who it is with these headphones on, which is good because I don't want to know. But getting back to you, Jackie, there's a huge presence with the dad. like a very, very big presence with a dad who stands behind you. But he, it's very funny, Jackie, because he's laughing. He's laughing at it, like sort of like laughing and pointing at your head, like she's going to love this. I don't know what that means, but is your father crossed?
In a sarcastic way.
Sort of in a sarcastic way.
Yeah, because I know who you are, so I know.
You know who she is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. She actually said that the last time she saw us.
Yeah, he's definitely that sarcastic kind of get the attention person, life of the party, and yes, he's passed.
So I'm asking your father, who's Jack? Who is this Jack? I mean, I know a lot of Jackies. So, but Jackie, I'll tell you, I want to make sure I phrase this the right way. Even though you may, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, even though you may sort of roll your eyes like, oh, he's first again. And I'm not saying he's a bad dad. I'm sure he's a great dad. But I'm just saying that even though you do that, I got to tell you, this guy steps forward and he's so, in spirit, is so with you in guiding you and watching you, but in such a positive way, almost makes me feel like what he lacked in the physical world, he's doing here, if that makes sense. But he says excuse me, your mother is here, living.
Correct.
Because if I don't hear anything in spirit when I ask, then I know that they're in the physical world. So, and he just said to me, he's also around her, and he said, but don't tell her that. So, in a very sarcastic, laughing matter. So, and there's also, I can't tell if this is your. He keeps saying one, so I can't tell if this is one. You have one child or you have one sibling. It's I can't tell, but there's a one. Oh no, it's two. It's two. Because there's three altogether. Is it you have three kids or is there three of you?
I have two siblings, so there's three of us.
Okay,
together.
perfect. So it's not surprising that a dad would actually give a validation for his three kids at all. So, which is a great thing. I'll tell you one thing. Your father also just keeps talking about that your life right now is going through a change. Like whatever you're doing is going to shift into even a bigger piece. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just whatever you're doing in life, but it makes me sort of feel like profession, not personal life, but profession is going to change. I don't know if this means there's a move to a different company, but all I know is that there's what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. So, like your whole life. This is where your father just said. This is where you're more connected to spirit now than you ever were in your life. Even when you were like a little girl or a teenager, or right now is a very, very good time because he makes me feel like it's Jackie's time.
Yeah,
it's Jackie's time. But I tell you, the support you have also around you. But you have kids too, right?
Yes, I do.
So the support that you have around is just, it's pretty incredible, and he's just very happy that you called so that he could come through. Even though there's also a grandmother who steps forward. Well, actually, there's two. Both grandmothers across?
Correct.
So because left and right, so they both come through. I think this is very funny, Jackie. I think it's the grandmother that's not your father's mother is the one looking at your father like, like.
Really?
It's in a very humorous way, just a very funny way. So, but I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you, Jackie.
Hold on before Jackie goes. So I'm here, and I'm blown away. And by the way, I'm blown away with Stephen all the time. I mean, we've been married 25 years. I'm part of. I've been around medium spirit, along the journey with him, and I'm blown away all the time by how spirit comes through. Because it is true, when Stephen goes into spirit, he doesn't really know anyone. He doesn't remember anything, but I do. And
Right.
I remember distinctly, Jackie, how you specifically rolled your eyes the last time we were with you. And you said, I cannot believe he's coming through again. And that is exactly what you just said now.
Now I know. Now I know. Now I know the Jackie.
Totally true.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Jackie. Oh, I'm so glad that you called.
I really wanted to support your show, and I'm really excited that I found it on the station.
Oh, me too, and hopefully we'll get to see you soon. So, but thank you. I think I've got to go to a break. But Jackie, thank you. We'll be in touch soon.
Bye-bye, Jackie.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Steven.
Bye-bye. Thank
Al.
you.
Are you looking for an opportunity to help others and give back to your community? Community VNA is seeking volunteers to join our interdisciplinary team dedicated to supporting patients and their families during a difficult time in their lives. Applications are now being accepted for our upcoming hospice volunteer training. A 20-hour orientation program will be held Tuesdays and Thursdays, September 6th through September 27th, from 9 a.m. to noon at Community VNA, 10 Emery Street in Attleboro. To learn how you can make a difference in the life of another, call Community VNA Hospice at 508-222-0118 or visit www.communityvna.com.
Fuller Hospital's outpatient partial hospitalization program provides short-term stabilization treatment for those diagnosed with a mental health disorder or co-occurring psychiatric and addiction disorders. We serve individuals aged 18 and older with a range of conditions from depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and support those maintaining their mental health and sobriety. Fuller Hospital is located at 200 May Street in South Attleboro, Massachusetts. To schedule an evaluation, you can call 800-222-2237.
And welcome back to Through the Static with Stephen the Medium. I'm here with Coach Elix and Mark at the boards. I am so excited that I have two phone calls, that Nikki called and Jackie called. It floors me. I sit here thinking seriously just how honored I am to have this opportunity and to be able to do this. It's just, it's incredible. But I think
you have more calls,
so, yeah. Good afternoon. This is Stephen the Medium. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. Who is this?
It's JoJo.
JoJo. How are you?
Do you remember me? Corner Lunch, the diner you came in?
Now I do. JoJo, how are you? Well, because we have other friends that are JoJo that we call JoJo. So, JoJo, I am so happy that you called and you're listening. This is a wonderful thing.
For me as well, trust me.
Wow. And, I know we don't get to see each other a lot, so, for you to call, and I mean, I know we see each other on Facebook, but just for you to call has been a great thing. So, but let me just tell you something, whether you want a reading or not, you're getting one, because as soon as I heard JoJo, is this Mom who's crossed?
Well, I have a stepmother that's crossed, and I also have a grandmother that's crossed.
No, this is definitely stepmom then. Stepping forward, can you hear me? I can't hear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I was sometimes, like, I'll say a mom figure, and I'm not really sure if it's a mom or if it's a grandmother, but I got to tell you, she's very, very specific that this is stepmom. It's really JoJo, it's really important for you, and I don't know yet because I always ask, their first name and how they cross when I start this, and they'll give me that information when they decide to. But your stepmom, and I don't know yet what the relationship was here between you and her, but I got to tell you, it's really when I tell people all the time, everything that I say, there's a reason for it, and there's a reason why she wanted to be first to tell you how much she's always with you and how much she's. I don't know if this is a surprise, but just how much she does what she can for you in reference to your life and in reference to your job and your relationship. It's a very almost sort of like a guardian angel, just always watching over you. So I'm not really sure what the relationship was, but it's important for me to tell you that. Who's Tommy? Who's the T? Teresa or Tommy? There's a T that keeps coming through for you. Either here, living, or crossed in spirit. Also, what was that?
No, I'm trying to think. I'm like, it might be a great uncle of mine. I don't know, but I can't think of anybody right now.
Is your great uncle's name a T?
I'm trying to remember all of them because on my dad's side, my grandfather had like 4 or 5 brothers. I don't know if one of them was Theodore or whatnot, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm not sure. But
just keep it with you, JoJo. And
okay.
If I'm saying it, it just means that if you did have an uncle that was, Tom, Theodore, or whatever, it just means that they're here. And also Richie. Who's the Robbie? Who's the R? Also,
Rich.
Who's Rich?
I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. That's weird because I have uncles that are like, I have an Uncle Nick. I have
don't tell me.
Alex,
Don't tell me names. There's a reason, and it doesn't have to also necessarily be family. It can also be friends connected to you. It could be customers. There's a reason why they're bringing it up, but and it feels like it's guys' names. It feels like they weren't old boyfriends, were they?
They could be.
Nope.
JoJo is beautiful.
Well, you are beautiful. But just you've got to keep the first one though. I'm not really sure if it's Tommy or Teresa, but there's a T connection here. But there's definitely a Ryan or Robbie or Richie. There's an R connected to you, and it could be living too. It could be that your stepmom is bringing it up, even though you've got to go to your stepmom's side.
Oh well, her brother's name is named Richard.
Oh, there it is. So just know that's why I'm asking Spirit, and your stepmom just brought me back over to her side. So it's just a way why she brings up. And Richard is her brother. Is that what you said?
Correct. They were very, very close, and they both passed. And I always had this feeling that, and my dad too, that they're like 2 peas in a pod now. They're together all the time. As well as I know that she's here with my dad and myself, but I know that she's with him.
Well, know that's why, Richard is also stepping forward to make sure that he's around too. This is a very close family spirit-wise, so just know that they're around you and watching you. And let me just preface this. The last thing I'm going to say to you is that she keeps saying to me, and I don't mean by any means that things are not good now, but they're getting even better. I just heard her say, please tell JoJo, coming up towards 2018, things, I don't know if this is something that happens. All I know is it's a really good thing.
I hope so, because I've been asking her all the time.
So JoJo, perfect. So know that she hears you, and she just wants to answer that, and she wants to respond to you and how much she loves you. But this Richie also is he's a piece of work too. He's funny, and he's
yes, he is.
Yeah, because he's poking me, like trying to make me laugh, and I'm like, I'm doing a show, right? But he does that because he said his personality is just like yours. So if that makes sense. So listen, JoJo, thank you so much for calling. I wish I could spend an hour with you doing this reading, but
we miss you, JoJo.
We do. We hope to see you soon.
I miss you guys too, and I have to thank you too and I have to thank her as well because I literally was on the phone and I was calling and it kept going like to a busy signal, and I kept saying, please, Elaine, please, Yaya, can you guys just please get me through to him? I just want to talk to him. And then, bam, and I was oh, my God.
And she did it. She did it. But listen, JoJo, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, honey.
Bye. Hello, this is Stephen the Medium. Who is this?
This is Susan.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Susan, I'm pausing because I'm pausing. When I pause, I have to tell Spirit to slow down, which means that when Spirit comes like sort of like in fast mode, it means that there's a lot going on. Like there's a lot going on in the family. It doesn't necessarily have to be with you, but around you. Because there's just a lot of emotions I keep feeling, and I know that's my sign for when I say slow down. I know there's a lot going on. I will tell you that there's a mom figure, because there's a grandmother here, but there's two. So I know your mom has to be crossed.
Yes, she is.
So just know that she's like your number one support, even though you know that she's with you. But I got to tell you, she is, especially with whatever is going on right now. And even though you have support, she is. Even when this is not going on, she's always around you and always with you, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
You have to, your mother just keeps saying, there's a 3 too. I just heard, just like in the previous call, there's 3. So either you have 3 kids or there's 3 kids, but there's 3.
There's 3 kids.
Perfect. You mean your kids?
Brother and sister.
Okay, yours.
No.
Okay, so just know that your mom just brings that up to make sure you know it's her stepping forward, but you have to hold on just to faith, whatever is going on. I don't feel like this is death, but whatever's happening, and I don't know if you're supporting someone close to you, but you have to hold on, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, if that makes sense, especially right now. If that
it
also
makes perfect sense.
So know that you got a change coming up too, Susan. There's a change coming, but it makes me. It's close to you, so it's either a move or it's a move professionally. But there's something happening coming up, so just keep that with you. And there's also a birthday or an anniversary that's coming up that your mother just says, "Happy birthday, happy birthday." So is you or one of the siblings have a birthday coming up within within the next month?
Yes, my sister's birthday is August 10th.
So just when you make sure you tell your sister that your mom is saying happy birthday and she's going to be there for the celebration. So, but thank you for calling and thank you for listening.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
You do know me as Croak. And
Croaksy.
This is.
And I wanted. I had a feeling you wouldn't recognize my voice, but I wanted to let you know that I'm listening, and then I want everyone to know who's listening how wonderful a medium you are, and you just, as you know the situation, and look how dead on you were and didn't know it was me.
So you're gonna make me cry. So Susie, thank you for telling me it's you, and I don't even know what I just said. So as long as it works for you, so it works for me.
It did.
So it's your mom. So but Croaks, thank you for calling. I love it, love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too. Okay, bye.
All right. Hello, this is Stephen the Medium. No. Okay, so we have. Sorry about that. I'm learning, right? So
we are learning.
We all of us are learning.
But I do have a question, though. So those calls, that's traditionally what happens, right? When people come to see you. So what would you say to people who, you say, I have a 16, and they say, I don't know. What would you tell them?
I would just tell them, like I always do, Elix, is to keep it with them. Spirit is very, very smart. So sometimes, like in the first caller, I think it was with Nikki, the 16. Sometimes it will be the 1/6 will be January 6th, or it will be 16 is on, your mom who crossed. She lived at 16 Miller Street for 50 years. There's always something, or 16th of a month. But I always get emails just confirming generally that, when they're on the spot, a lot of times some people are very quick getting validations, some people aren't. So that's how it works. But let me just make sure I say that I think, and I know I'm right, I have the best clients ever. I can say that. They're the best. I love them, and I am just looking forward to every week being on the show and doing more readings and learning with everybody. So I hope I did okay, and I hope that everyone...
Fabulous.